What's up, guys? You own a Sebenza or an Nkosi or a Zahn. They're all very similar, and you want to take it apart to clean. You always work on the show side, not the clip side. Start by breaking these free. And then we'll fully back out the pivot. Now I just poke the Allen key through to pull that out. When you press on the lock bar, you should be able to slide it out. Set that aside. And we'll back these the rest of the way out. And I have a back spacer. The Nkosi won't have the lanyard pin, so it'll be a little easier to work on. And the tolerances are really crazy. Most of the time I have to take apart the stop pin completely. And then it typically separates for me. Just like that. The tolerances are really tight, so if you wanted to pull this out, just wiggle it out a little bit. Same thing with the back spacer, but I already wiped it down a little bit. It's pretty clean, so I'm just going to put it back together, just in the reverse order. And again, the tolerances are really tight, so if you're struggling with it, you probably have it a little bit misaligned. Put that stop pin in there. You heard it click in. The little screws go on the stop pin. Let's just double check and I have the right screw. Why do you be like this? I'll grab the other one. There we go. The threads are pretty coarse. It'd be pretty hard to cross thread this on accident. You kind of have to drive it through. You see a little gap. Clicks in. Bam. Okay, we're all flush. And this guy pretty tight, but not all the way tight because we still got to get the blade in. So I would just say snug. That's good. And the little guy. I do recommend you Loctite these. This is my everyday carry, so I tinker with it. Alright, so both of those are snug, they're not full tight. If you wanted to fully lube the blade, just take off your washers, wipe those down, take off your center pin around the pivot, clean that up. I like to lube it. I don't know if that helps. I feel like it's smoother. And then putting it back together, the small one goes on the lock side, so you just kind of have to think about that when you're putting it back together. And then everything should be perfectly flush. The biggest issue is people fuck up these washers. I'm just about to fuck it up. I'm gonna back these up a little more, so I have a little more tolerance. Make sure everything's flush again. And I'm pinching all of them at the same time, sliding it in. Okay. I'm going to start the pivot. I'm going to depress the lock bar, kind of give it a wiggle, and just like that. It's all the way through. It's flush, 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 flush. And I do recommend Loctiting this, just to drop on the threads. Now I'm going to go back through and make sure everything's tight. Alright, I'm going to close the knife, tighten the pivot as much as I can. I can't open the knife. I'm going to back it up just a hair until the knife can deploy. Oh, that was too much. Let's see how that feels. Okay. Blade centered. Smooth action. And you want to make sure there's no blade play, so press the lock bar, wiggle it side to side. There's a little bit of blade play. Tighten it up. No blade play. It's a little stiff. So I'm going to back it up just a hair. And that's how you put it back together. Take it apart, clean it, put it back together.